everyone, and welcome to another Let's Build a House series. It's been a while since I have been in, I believe this is Moonlight Falls that I'm creating this house in. So it's been a little while since I've built in it, and I apologize for that. It just seems like so busy with so many things, and I've been thinking about, going back to this the past couple, few weeks or whatever it's been, but it just never seemed to happen. But here we are, working on the house again. Just looking for a few windows to place in, around. I was hoping to get some of these windows taken care of. That way we could start working on the outside, maybe some more finishing touches. So just looking, seeing what I could find, and I always have so much trouble trying to find windows. That's probably for me the hardest part of the game, is finding what windows I liked and trying to get them to look good and everything like that. It's like I always know what I want, what I want it to look like, but we're so limited on our windows and everything in the game that sometimes I just can't figure out what I want, so it doesn't turn out quite the way I'm hoping. And I'm back again, stubborn as I am, trying to get this roof to look more the way I think it should look. And I even go back to trying for a covered porch, as like I said, I have this tendency that I have a specific look I am looking for, and I love covered porches. They're probably one of my favorite things. And I was so determined to get this covered porch on there. I really was. But as you can see, I finally again gave up on that idea. So it didn't turn out. Was not at all going the way I was hoping. I tried, as you can see, a few more times, just trying to see if I could get it to work. I have seen covered porches that are kind of designed like this, and that's kind of how I was trying to get it to look, but it just didn't seem to look right. The way it doesn't go nicely around the walls or anything like that, and doesn't have nice corners, and it just wasn't looking very nice. So I do end up getting rid of it, and I do end up moving on. I give up in that area, and I end up continuing. Just like right here with the windows, it's like I would love to have had windows right there, but ones that looked like the ones I already used, just not as long. That way they would have fit without going through the roof, but that wasn't gonna happen either. So I'm just going around, just checking the levels and everything of the roof, just making sure it's placed the way that I want it to be. And here I am looking for some windows. I do plan on using those kinds of windows with the shutters. I think they look really nice, and especially in an older home like this, you would see some with shutters. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty trying to decide what door I want. I ended up going with that one, and I really liked the color of the shutters already. It matched the roof color, so I thought we would go with that color on a few of the windows and doors and things on the outside. So again, I wanted some windows beside this door, but I just was not having any luck at all trying to find a window that I wanted to be there. I didn't feel that those really long windows were really, I guess, not really appropriate, but that's kind of the word I'm looking for. They didn't seem to mesh well, and I thought maybe these windows if I changed the color, but even after I changed the color, I didn't like them. I got rid of them. And like in that little space right there, normally you would actually have maybe like an octagon window or a round window, but the game really doesn't have any nice windows like that, so I don't put anything there. So here this area is going to be a deck, so I'm just trying to decide where I would like the doors, and I knew what I wanted, but then I realized, I was like, oh crap, that's on a diagonal, so your windows and doors and everything aren't going to act quite the same. They do space out just a little bit farther than on walls that are not at a diagonal. So I ended up just moving on, went ahead and just placed one window or one door there. So here we're doing the turret. as I'm doing that turret, I had decided, you know what? I had thought about it before on lowering, the roof area of that turret. So that's what I end up doing here. I end up going in, and of course, I misspelled the cheat, so I had to go back and do it again. And so here I am just kind of lowering it and then checking every now and then just to see where the height is, see if I want to lower it again. And I end up lowering it all the way down except for one set, and of course I had to redo the roof because that does not go down with it. So it is a little bit taller than the turret in the front of the house there, but not by much. And then I noticed when I was doing this that I seen some roof coming through those windows. Now I know that there's trouble with the roofing of an octagon roof. Has a lot of troubles with always wanting to come through and showing. I don't recall having problems with your normal roofs coming through the walls. I wasn't too sure what to do with it. I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it there for the time being, and I'll come back to it later and see if I can fix it maybe later. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because all that would do is make me frustrated, and I figured, well, I'll just come back to it another time. So now we're just going through and doing more windows. I thought I'd put the same windows here as I did in the front, and I end up noticing again that the roof is going through that room as well, and then I saw, well, it's going through the front turret as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like half my house already has these roof pieces coming through. And I'm like, well, I wasn't really too sure what was causing it. I didn't know if maybe the house just didn't know that these were rooms or what it was. And while I'm taking a look at everything, I end up, as you can see, I completely took out that turret. I was hoping to get farther with this house than what I did. But I ended up changing, as I started working with the roof and everything, trying to find out what was wrong, I actually ended up changing a lot of the house. I eventually take off all the roofing and just go through, I remove all the windows, and I just, didn't exactly start completely over, but as you can see, I'm just kind of fixing some of the areas, hoping to do, something, and then I was like, you know what, forget it. Let's just get rid of all these roofs and redesign, what the outside of the house is going to look like. So I do end up taking out most of the turrets because it seemed like that's where the problem was happening with those roofs coming through. I don't want to remove all of them, but I do make a little bit of a change. Like right here, I do leave a little bit of the curved room. I didn't want to take it completely out. But we're just kind of going around looking at the walls, and I thought, you know what, while I'm doing it, let's go ahead and fix this. I was meaning to do this before. I didn't want it sticking that far out anyway. So I thought, you know what, we're going to go ahead and fix this part. And then of course the foundation was giving me a little bit of trouble. It can be picky once in a while. It's always like, it needs to be on level ground or something like that, or it won't go on, and it does sometimes become a little tricky. The garage door, of course, was in the way, and then I removed that, but then it was having issues with the wall because that was a wall there, not foundation. And it's like, well, I really need the foundation on the outside in some of the areas because of the terrain being different. And it was just really just fighting me no matter what I did. It's like I could get it to go there and then it wouldn't. So then I finally got it by going down a level. So then here I am, I'm cleaning up underneath. That way we can have our garage back there again and everything else. So it does end up looking nice. We get the foundation taken care of and get our walls re-added and stuff like that. So I like this look much better with the greenhouse on top. That made it look so much nicer, and straightening out that one wall and making it more flush made it look even nicer yet. I do like the final look of this house much better. Like I said, I still haven't fully decided to go and change everything in the house. I still felt that maybe there was something like the walls, or that's why I'm removing some of these walls. I thought maybe they were causing some problems. So I hadn't fully decided what I was doing. This is basically my build process. That's probably one of the reasons why a lot of times my videos, especially on a larger house like this, gets put into a more than one part, because I do tend to take a long time. If it doesn't go on exactly the way I want it to start with, then I do all kinds of changes. And as you can see, I had decided that I just wanted to change the way it looked. It doesn't look a whole lot different, but there are some changes in it. And then I end up redoing the roof again. As I do the roof, I find different areas of the house that I decide if I just do this instead, the roof will go on much nicer and it'll look cleaner. I really don't like, where it doesn't, look like it's supposed to be, just like right here. I like using these, I think they're called mansard roof or something or another. I probably said that wrong. I probably just butchered it. But for whatever reason, I just couldn't seem to get this portion to look the way I wanted it. I didn't really want it to look like that, because technically a roof wouldn't go in like it did to another roof, because then water would sit and then you'd have problems. So, that wouldn't be correct roofing. So I said heck with it and decided to continue with more roofing. And again, with these roofs, if you can get them to extend far enough into one direction, you can get the corner of it to go nicely into the corner, just like you see right there. So then I was going in and just trying to see what I could do with this area as well. Like I said, as I do roofing, I do change some of the structure of the house as well. That way it basically goes with the roof and we don't have quite as many problems. Just putting the turret back on, the roof for that one, for the turret. And then right here was one of the rooms that caused a problem with that roof coming through, and I was just trying to figure out what can we do to make it look better, and I didn't like that. So I ended up putting it back, and I thought, you know what, I really don't care if this roof bleeds through or not. I don't know for sure if that one did, because I did use a different roof. And I like the way that looked better, going into a peak into the turret like that. Definitely looks much nicer. I do like that. But I figured if it did, bleed through the room, because when you take the walls down to play, the roofing disappears. So the roof isn't there when you're, playing in the house or anything like that. It's just when you have all the walls up that you can see it through the windows. So I figured I'll just put a window in there that has closed shutters or something. That way you don't see it. So here we're just trying to do the roofing. Sometimes when you have a section of house that sticks out on the side like this one does, you actually need to use two different kinds of roof to get this to go in properly. And you'll see me do it here in a minute. You use a little bit of the mansard roof or whatever it is, and then you use the regular gabled roof right there. You'll see me put it in right there for the corner, and then the gable in front of it, and that gives you a nice clean corner look. I don't always think of that because you don't use those too often, combining your roofs like that. So I don't always think of it right away, but here we are back in another corner. I do change this one just a little bit. Because the one portion right there was just kind of not meshing well, I guess you could say. So I do change the wall just slightly. That way we can put this, a little bit nicer. Right here's where I change it. That way it can go in a little bit nicer. So then we end up going, I think we go with that roof right there. I can't quite remember. And I just did this too. Right before I did this commentary, I just finished building this portion of the house and then go right into the commentary of it. So but I think we do leave it. I decided to do that kind of roof because it gave us a little bit of a covered porch area, or a balcony I guess you can say again. And as you can see right there, I am just changing a little bit of the house again. I had decided that I'm going to put another deck out on the first floor right there, so that's why I ended up putting it back and leaving it. And then what I created right here, it looks a little odd right now, but it's something I planned on doing with this house, and when we get to it I will let you know what it was, but I don't really want to spoil the surprise yet. But we're coming towards the end of the video right now, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.